Man, don't you love Tulsi? God, I love this woman so much. Well, I'm not married anymore. I'm divorced, so maybe she'll give me a chance. Seriously, doubt it. Oh, man. What I love about her is how she just stands up for principles and people. And I just want to talk about free speech this morning because I was just watching a video of hers. And way back when she was running, y'all remember when Google just shut down her AdWords account and started the censorship on her then? No wonder she's pissed off now. I'd be pissed off too. Y'all, we got to be really concerned about free speech now. It's no joke. Like she said, we got to fight for the free speech of the people that we disagree with, because soon that target may be on your back. Like the people wear a freaking Trump hat getting crap. That is just flat ridiculous. That's got to stop. And the height and the real power of this censorship and this whittling down of free speech is directly from big tech, Zuckerberg and Dorsey, the oligarchs. When they shut down those conservative accounts all willy-nilly because they don't agree with them, you should be freaking scared. May not be your free speech they're shutting down, but it could eventually come to you. Folks, free speech doesn't disappear like that instantaneously. It disappears one word, one shutdown, one censorship at a time. And we're heading that way. We're heading to a way where only one way of thought is tolerated. And that reminds me a little bit of Germany way back when. I don't know about you, I don't mean to get hyperbolic, but heading that way, folks. Heading that way. We got to remember, free speech is changed. It's changed from you just can't scream fire in a crowd theater. That's the only thing that's not free. It's changed to free speech is anything but hate speech. But the question is, who is deciding the definition of hate speech? Who is empowered to decide that? If government's deciding that, that hate speech could be your speech if you're a Trump supporter. They may take you away for your words, put duct tape over your mouth, excommunicate you, slander you, prosecute you, persecute you, because they don't believe in what you're saying. If they decide you're free, your speech is hate speech, we have to be damn scared of that. And you may think this is a small thing, but in Congress right now, you can't use the word mother and father. Folks, you or I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for a mother. The term mother is the definition of unconditional love, is the essence of what keeps people going. And fathers is what keeps a lot of people falling into really fucked up situations in their childhood and falling to gangs and drugs and all sorts of things. Is another definition of unconditional love. And the fact that they don't allow that to be said on the Congress floor because it makes people uncomfortable with a gender-specific term, fuck that. I'm damn proud of being a father, and I'm damn proud of my wife being a mother. So that's one word they're trying to take away within the government. It happens one word at a time. Don't forget that. And don't forget that Parler is gone like that. Why? Because they were a true speech platform. And why? Because they presented a threat to Dorsey and Twitter, because they went to number one on the App Store, in the Google Store and Apple Store. Twitter didn't like that. They don't like it when some of their power's taken around and tons of their users leave. They came up with an idea to say, oh, wow, they were planning these things on this conservative platform, so we must shut down their free speech. Do you think there's not any stupid, hateful, horrible things like the Capitol riots planned on Facebook and Twitter? You're out of your freaking mind. It's everywhere. That's what happens on those platforms. And to single out Parler for that and say they're the reason that happened is flat scary. And how they did it, like the mafia, and they got together, hey, Vinny roast beef over here at Apple, come over here. And hey, you over here, Google, come together from the App Store. You know, shut them down. Shut them down. We'll break their kneecaps. Amazon, you Bezos, shut them down, ISP. Fuck them Parler boys. We're going to smush them like a bug. That's a crappy accent, but you get my point. Mafia-style tactic crushed them. I had the app. I got on it just to support free speech. No, I don't agree with half the shit they're saying on there, but like Tulsi talks about, like I talk about, free speech is not for you. Free speech is for the people you disagree with. Because the target that is on their back may one day be on your back. So you have to protect the people that you disagree with too. And that's why I stood up for Parler, and that's why Tulsi stood up for Parler. That was bullshit when they sent them down. They'll probably never get back up. I have the app. It's still spinning, doing nothing. It's ridiculous. Apple. Tim Cook's a freaking joke, man. He doesn't believe in people thinking different and having different ideas. He doesn't believe like that commercial back in 1984 where people staring at a screen like drones looking at a big screen, and this person has this hammer, they're swinging back and forth and throw at the screen. The person at that screen is Tim Cook. Just look at his software. Look at his hardware. It's proprietary. You can't do anything without using their exact stuff. They purposely make it that way. They want to chain you to their technology. I'm a graphic designer. I've been chained to it for 20 years. They have damn good stuff, but they have proprietary systems. They don't want people to have choice and freedom? Hell no, they don't. Of course they shut down that app. And of course, Twitter. So we got to start standing up for this stuff, folks. I can tell you firsthand. The problem is not just that what happens is when we skelch people, we don't let them have their point of view, and they feel like they can't even get jobs, can't even put food on the table. Their character is smeared and demeaned. Then their social network is taken away. They're exiled. They're forced underground. And when people get underground, good things don't come out of it because they get in their own echo chamber, like in a liberal echo chamber, and they don't listen to what's above, and they come up with diabolical ideas and things like the Capitol riots happening and far worse will happen. And you know what else happens? Is more white supremacy happens and more neo-Nazi stuff happens because those people come together because nobody gives them a chance. So they get together with the people that are giving them a chance. You know how I know this? Because I've talked to neo-Nazis on my radio show, Hug It Out America Live, and I know their perspective. So when we do this stuff, we're only fueling more hateful rhetoric. And what also we're fueling is a lack of ideas and innovation. Because from dissent comes innovation and ideas and progress. Do you think, all the way back to cavemen, if they had killed every person that tried to build the wheel, we would ever have wheels today? Or maybe not even fire. If we kill every person for their ideas, or in this day and age, squelch their free speech, we're not going to innovate anywhere. We're going to be stuck in this one-sided mentality. Do you think people would ever even gotten to the new world and even found America like Christopher Columbus did if Isabella hadn't allowed him to go off to the new world and see that it's not just a bunch of sea monsters and abyss where we drop off at the end of the world where it's a flat world that's actually round, that we live outside our echo chamber and we have other people that have other points of view. Do you think that ever would have happened? No, it is very important we fight for free speech. When we have somebody one way of thought, we become kind of like Germany was, or communist China, where you're dragged away from a jail and disappear for something you say. That's where we're heading, folks, if we continue to let Twitter, because let's get real, folks. Twitter and Facebook are the mic of free speech, as we're stuck inside with this virus right now. We're not allowed to commune in groups because it spreads the virus and all this. So the way we communicate and spread our ideas is through social media. So when they shut those down and take off people's accounts, and on Facebook they decide they want to hesitate your account for a while because they said you said something they didn't like, or on Twitter they discontinue your account or take away everything. That's some scary shit, folks. That's some scary shit. Tulsi is 100% right on that. And she has to be not the only liberal speaking up, the liberal that has a voice and has clout, the people listening to. There have to be other people amongst all the other liberals that are saying, you know what? We got to stand up for free speech that we don't believe in. Because if we don't, we're fucked. And we got to help Tulsi in this every way we possibly can. I just want to give you one example of a scary free speech thing that happened to me in my town. I have a movement called Hug It Out America, which is now called One Love, because I had to change it because hugs are seen so bad today. So it's not Hug It Out America. So now it's One Love. But anyway, the point is to find humanity in people you disagree with. Because underneath it all, we're more the same than not, regardless if you're a racist or anything else. It's just the reality of human nature. You may not like it at all, but it's a fact. So, my movement is not about liberals all coming together or conservatives coming together. It's about us all coming together and finding our shared humanity. So, I got an artist friend of mine, a famous artist friend of mine from New Orleans, who just happens to be a black guy, commissioned to create a painting for me, which I call Hug Out Hate and Fierce Love. The painting was of a Black Lives Matter woman hugging an older Trump supporter. And the two of them coming together, embracing each other in their humanity. And the Trump supporter had a tear going down his eye, if you looked at the painting closely. Well, I love this painting so much, I put it on my front yard as a yard sign for people to see. And a little while later, it'd been there a month or so, and in the middle of the Black Lives Matter BLM movement, somebody stole it from my front yard. And I thought somebody must have really liked it because it had the BLM on the back and everything. So I decided that I was going to print 100 copies and just give it out to people because I thought it was a great message, shared humanity. And I took a bunch of orders. I had 50 or 60 people wanted them. And I was about to give them out. And then I'm on this Facebook group here in Northampton, Mass., one of the most liberal towns I've ever lived in. And this woman named Zara, this white girl that's about 18 or 20, maybe she's probably like 21. I don't even know how she's young. Who was a graduate of Wesleyan University and majored in social justice. She bragged on social media that she stole my sign from my front yard. Stole it. And she thought she had the right to do it because she didn't agree with the message. And she bragged about it on social media. And I found out about it. And she basically, the reason I found out because she put my name in it. So I saw it. She whatever, she tagged my name. And I was like, wow. This woman was a bold bitch. She was a bitch. Let's just be plain and simple. She bragged about stealing this painting, and I wrote her a message. She said, well, I wrote a message. I'd like you to bring my sign back. And if you bring it back, I will not press charges. Because she was young, and I didn't want her to get in trouble. And we all do stupid shit when you're young. That's just what happens. We don't think of consequences. We all have this courage and all this crap. We're invincible. And I said, you know what? Bring it back. We'll talk about your perspective. And we can talk about it. She said, I'm not bringing it back. I'll tell you what sign you can bring back, and I'll bring one back, one you can, I want you to put in your yard. And I said, nah, it don't work like that, Zara. I said, I'll give you 48 hours. And if you don't bring it back, I'm going to press charges. Well, in the meantime, she started spreading lies about me, that I was a white supremacist and a racist because I had this sign in my front yard and I was embracing white supremacy. And some crazy town people in my town, liberals, kind of bought into that logic, and they kind of thought that was she had a point. And they started threatening me on social media. And I don't know who, somebody told her where I live. So people were driving by my house. Most of them just driving by. Lots of people and stopping and looking at it. But some people shouting at me. And some people threatening him online, called me a white supremacist. And my wife was scared. And she understandably said, hey, Billy, you got to take that sign out of the front yard. I said, yeah, you're right. She said, you got to call the cops. They got to come over here and they got to patrol our street. And I had a cop patrol my street for 2 days, 2 nights, because they were worried that something might happen. They might throw something at my house, break a window. I have 2 kids, 13 and 11. It's a scary situation. You'd probably take down the sign too. Excuse me. If that's not a scary thing against free speech, I don't know what is. Eventually, there's a very small chance something would have happened to me. All those signs that I decided to give those people, I said, you know what, I don't want you to have the sign. I don't want to put your safety at jeopardy. And they liked the sign. Some people didn't actually look at the sign. That person has a Trump sign. I actually don't want that sign. So probably about 25 of those people decided they don't want the sign. They just saw the Black Lives Matter person, and they thought it was a good thing. But the Trump supporter, once they saw that, no, they want it. But there were some people that liked the idea of finding humanity in people we disagree with. There are a lot of people out there, and we need more of those people. They still wanted the sign. I said, nah, you can't. They said, well, let me put on one. No. I said, I'll take it back. I'll give you the money you donated. But out of that, I said, fuck that. I throw love. I double down, throw more love. I'll triple down on the unconditional love and find humanity. So I opened a gallery. It's called One Love. It's in the middle of all this crazy town shit. And there are a lot of liberals that don't like it. But it's my free speech rights to be in this town, in a town where they're trying to attack free speech. People come to my gallery, they don't like what I'm doing. That's fine with them. They can think that. They have the right to disagree, but I have a right to be in that town as my free speech rights. It is my stand against free speech. Actually, right now, I've been wearing a Trump supporter hat every once in a while. I don't like Trump, but I want to see how I am treated by just wearing a hat. I'm doing a little experiment on it. I'm being very careful where I do it, but I'm going to see how people approach me. I did a little experiment yesterday, and actually people were pretty nice to me. I went to this town called Hadley. There's not a lot of blind hate towards Trump supporters there because there are many Trump supporters in that area. But there's one girl that definitely was not happy with what I was doing. It was clear when I went up to the cash register. But I'm going to continue to wear that Trump supporter hat to see how people will treat me based on the hat I wear. Because free speech is wearing that hat, folks. That's free speech. And if people are going to attack me for wearing the hat and get in my face just for wearing that hat, and try to threaten me and make me scared for my safety in any way, that's going to tell me that even more concerned about what's going on. Well, my town is off the frickin' rails for sure. Most towns aren't like that. But another town could come like this 100%. I promise you. But I thank God we have a person like Tulsi. And I gladly support her every month in this forum. Thank God for Dave Rubin setting this free speech forum up. Man, I'm so glad to be on here with all y'all. We may not agree with on everything, but we agree in this idea of coming together, we the people, and supporting people and people we disagree with, and finding common ground in the aloha spirit of share the breath of life and respect for those you disagree with, and all coming together at the family table. But like Tulsi says, we got to stand up for free speech for those people we disagree with, because one day that person that they drag off to jail or take away their Twitter account or steal their yard sign may be you. So free speech is damn well important right now. So let's stand up for free speech for those people we disagree with more than ever right now, folks, y'all. And one love, peace, love, and Tulsi. Take care. Bye-bye.